That's okay. It's a little slippery right here, so be careful.
Really wet.
People always ask me if I'm getting lost. My biggest thing is like, I think it's
very slippery. Did you see how I saw it in the picture of the signs where it was like, how perfect. We got our lesson. Yeah. National shortage of supplies. I know we're going to third club. Yes. I was like, oh, strawberries. I was like, oh, they're emergency. So right now, too late for that. Yeah.
So, sorry. Do you guys know what the Stanley Hotel is?
Yes. Our first house we had.
So, the reason I have us all sort of clear out the middle section is because, again, the Stanley Hotel itself. So you guys want to take a second to turn around
You
and
better
look down
stop
this hallway.
before Stanley comes to get you, babe.
Yeah, it's kind of tricky.
Yeah, so a little bit. This is the longest hallway that you can look at. It would be at a sort of slant, so you can still see that full standing room. It's called the shear depth. It pretty much allows the ship to flex the wings. The reason I bring this up is mainly is during the sailing period of the ship itself, you would have these passengers towards the very top ends going to the bar to have a really good night, obviously. Now after they had their good night, kind of partying way through, they want to go and retire and go back to their rooms. So they come down, walk throughout the hallways, looking down this hallway through, and they might see people on the very far opposite side. Because of the slope of the ceiling and the floors, people on the other side sometimes appear not to have heads, sometimes not to have torsos. So the first ever reported
One of
ghost
those
stories on the
drinks,
ship, like full in-fear reports, were just from drunk people at 3 in the morning screaming about headless ghosts on the ship. And I will say, if you guys are over the age of 21 and you either have went to the bar already or want to go back after the tour ends, have a good time, come back down here, look down the halls, walk down them, and you can have almost the exact same experience all of these wonderful years.
Remind me not to take
I
one too
also
many
want to say
years.
just a fun little cool comparison as well. If technically you started walking from here and walked all the way to the very opposite end, you would be almost walking the exact length of the Titanic if it was still sailing today. Because we are twice the size of the Titanic. We'll talk about that in a bit. You guys are following right up this way.
Think how many steps that is. We would definitely get them. Oh
yeah.
If you were tracking.
That's a good thing.
Yeah. You have the strawberry.
It's like a coconut grenadine. Very sweet.
What's that called?
Lady in white. Like, what's your choice?
If you're staying at the hotel, you can,
How much is it to stay here another balcony?
It's been a while since I did, but it was very expensive. It was like 20 years ago, it was $200 and some dollars. So that was a lot then. Yeah.
How much?
20 years ago, it was like $200 and some dollars. So I'm sure it's much more.
Spirit show. I don't say we're just in this little shop back here. It is open until 10:30, and I like to end around this space so you can come back if you like to. They've got all your ghostly needs. If you're staying on board and you want to buy maybe a Ouija board, you can do so. I would like to go there. A little bit. Welcome in, guys. Alright, so now, unfortunately, we are in the original third-class purser area. If you guys happen to go grab snacks at any point in time or have been around the hotel lobby, that is the first-class hotel area. So, those would be the original third-class entryways. You come through, go ahead and grab your keys, and your keys would actually be attached to a skeleton key with a tiny little paper on it that told you your room number. Pretty much those back there. Now, on TikTok the other day, I was scrolling through, and something really cool came up. Apparently somebody had found a skeleton key from the ship when it was still sailing, and they decided to come on board and see if they could find the room to test if it still worked. They came on board, and it fully did open up the space. It was pretty much carved out at that point, but since then I've been told they ended up changing the locks, unfortunately, because they're party poopers. But I will say it is really cool to think or to understand that they do still work, and they fully would be kind of found anywhere. My boss has a whole keychain of skeleton keys. So. I also want to talk about really fast the kind of Coraline feeling of the pool itself. Have you guys seen Coraline by chance? Awesome. So you know about all those little hidden doors and walls and stuff. So, a really cool thing is if you guys look around the space right now, all of the yellower walls are going to be fake walls. I like using this one specifically as an example, mainly because behind this would be a full staircase all the way down towards the deck. Now, the way you can tell is because, one, you've got this sort of red pattern on the floor, like the one we just saw outside below those main stairs. You can also see this green arrow pointing down and telling you exactly where the staircases would go. The cabins themselves, the hotel rooms, would actually go down a couple more decks than what we see originally right now. So this would have continued down that way there. But the entirety of the ship has fake walls. We've got wooden panels everywhere.
Can you still go down there to use?
Yeah. No, not
one
me.
again?
No. I mean, I think if I didn't ask and also utilize my key,
You might be able to.
maybe, I would have to get really creative about finding how to get in.
Right.
I'm sure there's a way, though.
Yeah.
But as far as like my permissions go,
Right,
technically,
Like physically possible.
Physically.
Permission.
physically, I think maybe if I really tried, yeah. Listen, there's a lot of things I'm gonna do when I'm quitting. Okay, there's a lot of things. The cargo hold, it would be mine. That again stays between us. They give me keys and they don't expect a thing to happen. I've explored everything that I can at this point, but I mean there are some cool places on the ship. There's this little staircase that's it's very thin and it spirals down, and when you take it all the way through, it lands you in the boiler room through one of the walls, but there's no more walkways anymore. So that's, I mean, probably they don't let us go through.
We're like, I'm gonna go back upstairs.
You're like, well,
But where did it get?
it's also just dangerous too, so there's a whole thing. But yeah, if you guys want to explore after the tour ends, you are welcome to, and they again have big walls throughout the entirety of the ship. Sometimes if you open the panels, you can find the hull of the ship. Sometimes you can find control panels. It's a really cool thing to be able to sort of, I guess, kind of pander to the exploration side. So we're gonna head down the stairway.
Yeah, when you first look, you don't even notice it until they send you there. Yeah.
It is giving Hollywood. I know a little thing or two. And I have one. Oh my god, that piano's beautiful. Why is it down here? Why is that piano down here? That's my real question.
Alright, so one, as we came down the stairs and saw a little friend in the back corner there. This is a space that is used during Halloween time. We actually have Halloween mazes on and off the ship. So that is just kind of left behind. That's also where you're going to see all these walls put up. These are not original. This is all plywood. It is again for the Halloween season. As we're going through, directly behind me, you're going to be able to look through the windows that drop you into the boiler room itself. Technically, it's about a 50-foot drop. If you guys are scared of heights, maybe don't look, but if you're not, you're welcome to go ahead and grab a glimpse. This is just one of the 3 boiler rooms, and again, they are all emptied out, mainly for legality reasons. We're heading into the pool right now. The pool itself has a stability issue, which means I'm only going to allow 3 people at one time, but we will all get a chance to go inside. We'll get a limit, and we'll filter out as needed. And I'll tell you guys a story here, so we're not melting in that back section as well. So really quick to head over the story. The pool itself is about 18 feet deep. That's why it's no longer going to be kind of open and operable. It's nowhere near California standards of safety, especially because the shallow end was 6 feet and the deep end was 12. Right, exactly. They ended up draining it fully in the believe the 90s, but nobody ended up or was allowed to use it from 67 all the way to the 90s. They only drained it because apparently there were rumors that some of the crew members were taking their 10-minute break swimming in the 30-year-old pool water. So they were like, that's disgusting, let's get rid of it. But with all that in mind, the pool itself is home to more childlike spirits. The most well known is a little girl by the name of Jackie, normally reported to be around 5 to 6 years old. Now, times are hard, I suppose, so that is why she now has a little spirit shop upstairs, Jackie's Spirit. Is her name Jackie?
Yeah.
That's what I had somebody named Jackie in my last night too. Everybody reacted the exact same way. Welcome back, Jackie. Thank you for coming back home. But yes, she's kind of parading the pool itself. She is really, really sweet, I will say. I know sweet and ghosts don't always go along together, but she's just here for a good time. Now, her death record goes a couple different ways. When I say death record, we don't technically have one. So there is no record of a little girl by that name passing away on board, but that only goes for the hotel years, which we had 1,001 crossings, only 58 deaths. There's not really a lot going on. But when it comes down to World War II, we had maybe a couple of thousand deaths, and we don't have the records for that. They're still held legally by the British government. So what I think is maybe the last 2 years of the Queen Mary, when she was a bride and baby shuttle transporting women and children over to New York City, perhaps Jackie was on board then and passed away in the second-class pool towards the back of the ship. When that happened, because with modern times we have changed the pool into a theater, maybe she decided to take it upon her own hands to go ahead and upgrade herself here to our first-class location, because why wouldn't you? It's free. Other people think if you just have been somewhere in your lifetime and you enjoyed your time there, technically you are welcome to go back and haunt your favorite location. I really hope that's true because I have really big plans to go haunt Disneyland after I die. But you never know, maybe this was her Disneyland at that point in time. So it's, again, kind of more subjective for her, but no matter what, she's sweet and she's very much interactive. When you guys have your own time, if you want to try and find her around the pillars playing hide and seek, go ahead. If you want to try and kind of scream out Marco, she might answer back to you. And there have been some reports, they're pretty rare, but if you decide to start a nursery rhyme and stop, there's a slight chance she can finish it for you. Apparently her favorite one happens to be London Bridges, not the one by First. We're gonna head there right now. If you are taller than I am, which is like 5'8" on a really good day, please watch your head. These areas are made for people who are shorter because 1930s had issue with malnutrition. So please be careful, watch your head exactly, and watch your step because it's a little bit dark. Again, if you want to look at the windows, you are welcome to. One of the biggest rules I have for please know by the way, everybody, is do not wander. I am not trying to be a party keeper, it's mainly for safety. So please make sure you're staying with the group after.
It would be a story to tell.
And we can say we met the
Ghost.
I was there. I think my therapist would have something to say about that.
There it is. Yep.
That's deeper than the grave.
Resident Evil 9.
No lifeguard. Swim there. On your own regard there.
Yep.
I mean, you find out the hard way at some point.
Just once.
Enjoy the space, and then we'll switch out. While we're doing that, I have a picture I want to show you.